Okay, the Lions get their first victory, and we break it down now. Okay, Lions win, and we get our first victory against the Vikings, and it just was the last minute. It felt good, everything about it. So we're going to ask Craig, and Craig and I are going to talk about it and some of the big things that stood out to us. So, Craig, I'd ask you, get the first victory, but for you, like, what just stands out in that game against the Vikings?
Downfield passing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really simple. When we connected on a few down-the-field passes in the first and second quarter, you just knew it had a different feel to the game. I don't want to get too much more complicated, but if you want me to, I'll break down what that opened up. But I don't know. Why don't you tell me what stood out to you?
Yeah, well, so what stood out to me, and it's going to go right into, I think, what you're going to talk about, was St. Brown, because there's a lot of different things, but what I'm really looking for in this season, obviously I want to get a couple wins, a win, but I wanted to see...
Just one. Yeah. I don't want too many. I still want the first pick.
Just give me a pick, or give me a win, yeah.
But I know it sounds bad.
I wanted to see some of our rookies just, you don't have to be the greatest player ever, but I just don't want to see a complete bust. And St. Brown had some injuries, whatever, and so to see him just be a part of this and be a big part of it really stood out. And I think that's where you were going to go with, like...
That's where I'm going.
Yeah, we've got downfield. What else does that open up?
Yeah, so as you get a few down-the-field plays, I think we had 3, 4, or 5 plays over 20 yards, even over 30 yards in this game. What happens is the defense has to respect that. Yep. So now you're going to have safeties in that deep two-safety look. They have shell coverage because they have to prevent the deep pass. And especially with Minnesota, they had multiple linebackers that were injured. Yep. So the middle of the field was wide open over and over again. Hawkinson took advantage in intermediate. Even Brock Wright, who's not a good receiving tight end, he had one great touchdown catch, but they're taking advantage of it. But that's why you saw Amon-Ra St. Brown with 10 catches. It was only 84, 86 yards, something like that. It's not a big average, but it's because the defense had to respect the deep ball. So therefore, you have guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown that are running underneath for short catches all day, and that's what keeps the chains moving.
That's one thing we've really struggled. You don't have to put up points every time, but you got to get a first down once in a. You can't just go 3 and out.
You can't just leave your defense on the field.
Yeah, and so speaking, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit over to our defense because the last 5 games, I think it's 5 or 6, ever since the Philly game, the defense has played really well. We've got Jerry Jacobs out there, undrafted rookie. We got injuries all over the place. We've got, and I love that we just have I don't know what it is, but we play well, and we don't
enough to win.
Yeah, and our defense seems to be put in terrible positions constantly, and we just kind of hang in there. What do you notice about the defense that you like?
Yeah, so it's funny. I'm going to go slightly different. The defense has been really good the last 5 weeks or so, 4 or 5 weeks. This week, they weren't that great. Minnesota, I think Cousins put up 340 yards. Yep. I want to say they ran for another 140, 150 yards, but they didn't give up a ton of touchdowns. It was field goals early for Minnesota, so that allowed us to get a bigger lead heading into halftime. We needed it. We needed a couple touchdown lead, right? So it allows us to have that bigger lead going into halftime, so it was one of those things where the defense, while it struggled, I think they missed Jalen Reeves-Maybin. To be honest with you, at linebacker, I think that veteran presence, you saw Woods so many times get sucked into the play-action run, or they would run it, and then Madison would just do a cutback, and Woods was nowhere to be found. Yep. He was buried on a block like 10 yards downfield. So we missed that, but
like you said,
they were good enough not to let him in the end zone.
Yeah, and we've seen bad defenses with the Lions over the years, and it's just like it's brutal, and you're like, we have no chance. This, like you said, we were in it. So I guess I should have said that a little different. We have played really well in some games, but in this game, this is an NFL.
Still good enough.
Yeah, good enough, and that's all we've been asking for because we've always been kind of looking at Goff like, why is the offense so bad? And so this, yesterday or Sunday they were able to get it done. So it feels good in that respect. And then the kicker. So we were talking about our kicker is just like, man, it looks good coming off his foot. It's right down the middle. I mean, he didn't win the game. We got him from
New England, right? I think we got him off New England's practice squad. He kicks a 30-some-yarder, a 44-yarder, and a 49-yarder, I think it was. Plenty to spare, right down the middle. Doesn't look nervous. Actually, there was one time he ran onto the field and he was walking around like he had to pee or something.
Oh,
he was kind of doing the pee-pee dance. I think he was just nervous. But, he looks good. What if we found our kicker? That would be a nice gem. People don't realize how important a kicker is. I think we as Lions fans, we do realize we have been blessed as Lions fans with good kickers.
Yep.
Maybe not beyond that, but Murray to Hansen, right? I mean, like we've had good kickers.
And then to Prater, where Prater really opened up. Like, hey, whoa, all we got to do is get to the 35-yard line. That's 3 points. And
40-yard line.
It's huge. So, the kicker you take for granted because there's a couple of those 40-yard some odd kicks where it's like if he doesn't make this. They get the ball there. I mean, it's just huge. And instead, he drills it, and it's like awesome. So,
no points left on the field.
That's right.
Except one. When we went for it late on fourth down, I know you were going to ask me about this. We go for it late on like our own 28-yard line.
We're up 2. So if we turn it over, they immediately are
in field goal range.
Yeah, So what, do you like that or not?
No. And here's the thing. I thought Campbell coached this well. I thought he was good with play calls. He attacked deep, intermediate, and short. He stuck to the run still. But I'm telling you right now, that play, I get it, you're 0-10-1. You got desperation, pull out all the stops, but there's a difference between being aggressive and being dumb. I think that move was dumb. Luckily, the Vikings did some dumb things that allowed us to get back in.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, for example, when you are playing defense, there's 4 seconds to go, and for some reason all your DBs are 7 yards deep into the end zone. Okay, we'll take it. We're on a little hitch. That's fine.
And I was looking at that. We could have easily, too, done a play where we have our 3 receivers go out to be blockers, have a running back come underneath and just give it a shot. I thought maybe we might do that because, they're in the end zone.
Because they're playing so deep.
Yes. So I'm with you.
Heels on the goal line, Minnesota. Thank you for not doing that.
Thank you. I love it. I love how we are aggressive, and I do think that's the new NFL is you've got the ball, don't give it to them. But if you have the lead, then you have to keep the lead. And so if we would have punted away, we'd still have the lead, and we'll give it a chance.
And our defense has been playing well. Tell your defense that you trust them. Punt it. We have the best punter in the league. So if you're punting from your own 28, you're putting them inside their 20.
I know.
Because it just didn't seem smart. That
and we did this earlier where we had a chance, this is a few games ago, to kick a field goal for the lead, to take the lead, but we went for it and didn't get it. And so I always think if you can get the lead, you do it. If you have the lead, keep it.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion. The whole analytics thing, it drives me nuts. Minnesota, analytics told them to go for 2 on 3 separate occasions.
Yep.
They didn't make it. So, when the game is over, instead of them being up 7 or 8 and us being able to tie it or having to work to tie it, walk-off touchdown.
Yeah.
They left points on the board multiple times, including the field goal at the end of the half when they were going for it in a stupid way. Hey, I'll take it.
We'll take it.
This is what we needed. This is what we needed.
Overall, we're just happy for the team. I mean, really, as you watch the team,
they play hard.
Yes, and it's a personal. You just get to know the team, and I think there's definitely positive because I think if we're getting blown out,
building blocks.
If we're getting blown out every week, then it's like, well, that's what. But it's like, oh my gosh, we should have a couple of wins. I mean, seriously, I've never seen anything like it. So it just felt good to have Coach Campbell get his win, and then have the players. So he really treats well. You can tell they wanted him to win.
They like him.
It felt good to win. Anything else that stood out to you?
Yeah, I would say the only thing on the offensive side, we still ran the ball enough.
Yeah.
I think Williams had 17 carries. It was over 4 yards a carry. So that's what opened up the middle of the field. You have the deep shot, you have the running game, and then middle of the field was wide open.
Yep.
And it's so funny because so often as a Lions fan, we see the other team do this to us because they're averaging 4 yards a carry, 5 yards a carry, and they have deep threats on their team. We just haven't been able to create it so that field is wide open in the middle. It was so nice to see that Goff with open receivers
just open
is good.
Yes,
he's okay. I know it has to be pretty perfect for him, and he still had a couple of moments.
He can still.
But he's accurate when he has time and he has open receivers.
And I would love to see. I don't even know his name. The third string running back, Azubuike, or I would love to see him.
Igwebuike is what you're thinking of.
So we have Swift.
Fourth string, by the way.
We have Swift, which is great. He's injured. Jamal Williams is great. Jefferson is just very solid.
Always seems like he's hurt.
Yeah.
Every time he gets tackled, it's like, I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, he said, why is he hurt?
It's really weird. I don't get it.
Our Agabuke, every time he comes in, it's like, That was explosive. That was good. He's jumping over people. He had a great catch there at the end where he got out of bounds. Like, dude.
Can we side tangent on Igwebuike right now?
Yeah.
So before the season, he's coming in. He's a free safety. And he's praying to God because he knows his NFL career is about to be over. He's not going to make the team.
No.
He's not going to make the team. He's not going to make any team. And he says he's praying to God, and God tells him, which I don't know where we're at. I mean, I love Jesus, don't get me wrong, but God tells him, you're going to be a running back. When I hear that, I feel like crazy sauce, right?
He made that up, yeah.
Then he goes into practice, and Lynn, the offensive coordinator, sees him returning kicks and says, I think you could have a future as a running back. He makes the team as a running back, and he's actually helped. He's
every time he touches it, and every time he touches it, it's like, that was good.
And running back's the one room on this team where if nothing changed next year, and it was the same 4 running backs, I think we're all good.
Feel great about it, yeah. So there's little pieces, and we'll get to that more of like what the future looks like, but we're just happy to get this win.
Yep.
And if you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.